Hey guys, welcome back. It is time for a psychology hour. So, you guys who've been with me at, ooh, is there an echo? What is that? Do you hear an echo on your side? Okay. Anyways, it is time for psychology hour. That's better. Okay. Welcome everyone. I'm happy to be here with you guys. And Tuesdays, so Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern time is when we get to. You guys see me because I do not see us live. How is everyone? Okay, sorry. My camera was being super buggy. Okay, we're all here now. How is everyone? Welcome. Welcome to Psychology Hour. Okay, now we're cooking. Okay. So, my name is Coach Becky, and I get to have this hour every week where we just talk about a specific psychology topic. And I mean, it's my favorite because for me, the psychology behind my trading and the energy that I bring to my charts is really powerful for my momentum in this world and navigating what I am doing on my charts and who I am as a person and how I am doing my best at leveling up in my trading. And so I am very privileged to be able to pick topics and come every week and just chat with you guys for an hour to talk about what's going on in a certain subject and something that I think can maybe help all of us with our trading and especially helps me with my trading. So I'm happy to have everyone with us. And if you know anyone who likes to catch these streams, like shoot them a quick ping, let them know that we're here, that we're live, and we will just get into it and they can just catch up when they get here. Who's here with me? Anyone? Throw it in the chat. Do I got some of us originals here? Where's my team? Come on. I know it's a different time. Jaja, thank you. Jonathan, welcome. Yes. Okay. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back. We had a great morning on the charts. That was some good money, good trades. All right. Well, I'm glad that you guys are here. I am totally team blue sky and I'm happy to chat with us all. Hey, what's up? Some of these names, I don't want to say them wrong. Coach Becky, though, that's me. You guys know me. Okay, well, let's get into it and let's talk about what we're going to cover today. And like I said, I get to be the psychology kind of nerd out in that realm because I love it. And so I'm very privileged to be able to be in this position. So today we're going to talk about kind of a whole life approach that I have found that when I focus on this, I do so much better in my trading. And let's be real, like a lot of who I'm trying to become and how I'm trying to change as a person is to become successful in life, in trading, for all of my goals. Everything kind of spins into other things. Like I want my trading income to be able to be used for other income streams as well. Like I have a lot of goals that I'm doing, and trading is the heart of much of that. And so for me, I want to do any kind of thing that makes me a more successful trader. So, what that looks like today, we're going to talk about some different strategies for just embodying that role and being that person when I show up to my charts. So, I hope it is powerful for you guys because it was really fun to put this presentation together today so that we could just chat about it. So, I'm not going to talk about charts and setups for this hour. We will again at Power Hour, but today we're just going to talk about like a conversation about trading psychology. So, I want to talk about who we are when we show up at our screens, like who we present as, what our energy is, what our goals are, and who we're bringing to the table essentially. So, the habits, the beliefs, the energy that you carry, it doesn't appear out of nowhere, and you can't really manufacture it and have it be like one persona for trading and one persona for all these different things that we're doing in life. And so it comes from everywhere. It comes from a big picture, a part of who you're life. Ooh, you are right on time, aren't you? I'm very happy to see you. Okay, so I'm going to bring this all together, but I want you guys to think about one habit in your life that you know needs work. Okay, so we're always there, right? So I definitely have areas in my life where I know that I could be a little bit better at and that I want to prioritize differently and make sure I'm continuing to show up as and that I know could use some work. So think about that for you guys. And we're going to come back to it in a little bit, kind of bring it all together. But that's kind of where we're at of like thinking about who we are right now in one aspect of your life, including. Okay, so the core idea of what we're going to talk about today would be that there is a pattern. There's a pattern to who we are and how we show up as humans in life, in trading, and what we're trying to pursue and create in all the domains of our lives. So I like to think that the way you handle discomfort and making decisions under pressure, your discipline, and the way that you show up, like with integrity and how you present in rooms and with your people, those aren't really trading traits, but they're like human traits. They are who we are as a person, how we show up on our teams, what we look for out of life, what our general approach is, what our response is, how we answer questions, how we look at opportunity. And so it kind of really, when you start to think about life and trading, there's tremendous parallels. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today, is about how it shows up across all of the different domains of our lives. There is a phrase that I think all of us know, which is the heart of today's conversation, which is how you do anything is how you do everything. And Martha Beck is titled with having that quote. She's a pretty famous author. But that is a phrase that I think everyone knows because we see it play out in different aspects of our life. So once you hear it, you kind of can't unhear it, kind of thing. And that is why I wanted to kind of shed some light on it and dig into like the science behind it and the research behind it and why it's something that we can lean into. So it actually isn't just a philosophy. It isn't just a catchphrase and something that we read somewhere that we liked and thought was catchy. There's neuroscience and behavioral psychology that backs it up. That's why it's got the traction that it has got. And that's why it's something that is referenced and, considered in many, many different pursuits and areas of life as something to lean into and embrace for our best outcomes. So let's break that down a little bit, right? So we can kind of understand the why behind kind of what we're chatting about today. So identity-based habits, James Clear's research in Atomic Habits, everyone's heard of the book Atomic Habits, right? Shows that lasting change comes from shifting who you believe you are, not just what you do. Yeah, martial arts. Yeah, yeah, that's a discipline in martial arts that absolutely transcends all areas of life. I mean, those black belts is a certain type of energy. Mhm. And then also self-regulation transfer. So this one is an interesting term, right? Self-regulation transfer, self-regulate. How do we regulate ourselves and make choices and manage our choices? So there's a study out in 2006 actually that found that practicing self-discipline in one domain measurably improved it in others, including financial decision making. So we'll have examples here today too, but like when you choose to be really disciplined in a certain area of life, and that's a huge priority for you, and you actually lock in and really adhere to it, that study showed that spread wider into multiple aspects of life because it changed kind of the energy that you were bringing to an important part of your life, and that had transference. And then also cognitive consistency. So cognitive, the way the brain works, and consistency, having something happen regularly enough. So the brain seeks behavioral coherence. When your life's actions align with your identity, executive function and impulse control are both strengthened. So when you are really coherent with what your goals are and who you're trying to be, your actions and your identity kind of follow that because you're showing up in a certain way and the results will follow. Everything kind of lines up together and works together, and it's strengthened together. Or the inverse of that, things can be weakened together as well, but it crosses is kind of the heart of it. So I want to break it down into different kind of sections here so we can kind of get into all of it and see it clearly in our mind's eye and think about what we're doing well, areas that maybe we could shine some light on and think about adjusting and pivoting on if we need to. Some people are really good at nailing this and others are still in the working phase. And I fall somewhere in the middle of that. Like I truly believe in this energy, but I'm 0% perfect and have plenty of work still to do in my life. And so that's why I want to like have these conversations with you guys too, because it really does make me stronger. So a couple different areas that we can look at this at today that we're going to consider and just talk out. So honesty, as a human, kind of plays over into integrity on the charts. Capital preservation. So there's an effort with how we use money and how we adhere it and how we exercise it. Healthy habits can lead to higher quality trades, means you want just really the best quality in whatever you're pursuing. There's a belief element that can create higher confidence on your chart when you really believe in who you are and how you're showing up for your life. That can transfer over into how you look at your trade options and how you believe in yourself and your future as a trader. Gratitude is very closely tied with abundance. And this is something that I reference kind of regularly in different aspects as well, because those two things really cross over into who you are as well. And then also intentional living. So let's just kind of get into them because I think it will bring it all into a clearer picture as we talk. So honesty, right? I mean, I think honesty, everyone is on some grayscale with that, right? I think that there's all kinds of things that we deal with in life on this. But I think when you really try to prioritize just being really open and clear with yourself in daily life, owning your mistakes, reviewing your choices, telling the truth, even when it's hard, even if it takes a minute to like deal with whatever's going on, but trying to stick to the core of your truth as often as possible in every way. There's an integrity behind that that directly transfers into your trade journal and your post session reviews. And so the way that I feel like I was thinking about this with trading is that it's like eyes wide open, like if you F around and find out and you realize that you're kind of engaging in some reckless behaviors potentially, this is where you want to kind of own it. And you don't have to own it publicly. I don't think that that's necessary. I think people have a different relationship with that. But at least personally with your trading journal, if you have an accountability partner, if you have a direct mentor that you communicate with regularly, just saying exactly like what your situation is and what you need to address and what maybe you engage in that you wish you wouldn't have, but you don't want to brush under the rug. You want to kind of deal with the day at hand and then move forward from there. So the first, when you're really honest with your trade reviews, the lessons can shine more brightly. You can do less of that messing around and finding out if you really dissect it and figure out what the heart of the energy that kind of led you down the wrong path is so that you can avoid it in the future. This quote I really like is the first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. I kind of like that quote because we can write off a lot of stuff. We can change and shift the story with time. And I think it's better if we just kind of face the music. And even if it's not pretty, even if it means that you had a tilt day, because I've certainly had many, many tilt days. And sometimes that means you want to take a break. You don't want to talk about it right away. You need to go for a walk. You need to do whatever you need to do to kind of calm down your nerves. But then like kind of being like, what the heck did I do when that thing happened that I'm really upset about? And how can I deal with it and face it moving forward? So that's how I think about trying to be your most honest, open self in all aspects of your life, but just sort of like being real with the situation at hand and trying to be the best that you can. And that way, when you face the music, it's not painful on the charts and off the charts, right? That makes sense. Now, capital protection is, it ties into risk management. So this is where in life, this also, all of these things can be a little bit gray. None of it needs to be perfect, is what I want to like preface all this with, is that these are just areas that we can each be mindful of, but does not have to be perfect because every once in a while, like you want to go shopping or you have a little like thing that you do that brings you joy and that you choose to, you know, engage in, and it doesn't, and you get to be a human and you get to have little outlets, and maybe your thing is handbags or fishing trips or whatever, but in general capital preservations and being smart with your money will kind of play over into your trading risk management. So let me break down a little bit. But intentional spending, avoiding impulsive purchases that were not a part of what you really want out of life when you don't have like an extensive amount of money, and building financial discipline outside of the trading area, they're not really separate skills. It's kind of a part of a whole picture. They are the same muscle as protecting your trading account, right? It's a pause before you spend, asking, is this purchase aligned with my goals? Building a margin in your budget. So if you do really love to travel, what does that look like for you? What do you save in advance? What do you pay for on this way? How do you do a payment plan or whatever for it? How do you fit it into your life goals? So that way you are making sure that you're managing everything that you need to do in an intelligent way. That is very similar to trade management, right? You don't take on more risk than your account can hold, and you let it grow with time. And you protect your capital in a way that means that my account is this size. I only want to risk this much because I want to be able to do these other things with it and have it build up in such a way to have a buffer. So it's kind of eyes wide open and intention of, obviously you have to risk, you have to be able to spend, but you want to do it in alignment with your bigger picture goals when you're not in an emotional state. So, I mean, on the charts, right? Capital preservation is rule number one in professional trading. So, the trader who avoids kind of frivolous spending in life that isn't aligned with the bigger goals when you don't have frivolous money in life, you rarely will chase the losses in a session because you're kind of cognizant of, this day, this is my goal. If I get this much, this would be great. If I lose this much, I need to stop because I'm not willing to lose more. Those kind of choices where you pass in the low conviction setups because they're not worth it. Like you're building up your account, it's not worth your energy to waste it on that. And then honoring your max daily loss limit because maybe that was a day that you just really couldn't get in alignment with the market and it wasn't doing what you thought and it was taking your stops. And so just, like peace out. There will be better days, greener pastures are coming. And so I'm just going to kind of move on with my day, not risk your capital on that. And then your trade size is with intention. So it's not throwing everything at every trade. If you do go big, it's because you have a really great setup that you fully believe in and the risk, the stop loss placement is within a reasonable location in order to go with larger size. So it's just intentional. It just means that when you think about your money, your capital, your goals for your finances, you're intentional with that. And that can be, within a trade or also within your life choices. Because this goal, I mean, we've all heard this one from Alexander Elder, who's an author and a trader, but the goal of a successful trader is to make the best trades and money is secondary. So it's a focus on doing a really good job on the charts and making sure that you're not worried about your P&L coming, but instead you're making great choices. And oh, hey, welcome Fatima. Nice to see you, girl. We're talking about how you do one thing is how you do everything and how that crosses over into different aspects of our lives. But the goals that we are striving to achieve can kind of, transfer into all aspects of our life. And that's kind of a powerful energy to approach trading with. So welcome in for anyone who just joins. Now, the physical part of our body is definitely a part of this too, how we approach who we are in all aspects of our lives. So, research from the Journal of Finance in 2014 found that trader performance correlated significantly with sleep quality and physical health markers. Now, I mean, I don't make this up. Like I just Googled this and was like looking into what was out there on this subject. And like they've done studies because this is a question that I think traders are having and everyone wants to have an edge in the market. And so by having, by studying these kinds of things, we can see what is an edge and what isn't. And so this study had definitive results that managing your sleep quality and your physical health is a competitive advantage when you try to put energy into doing the best that you can there. Now, again, nothing has to be perfect for it to be impactful, but rest. So sleep deprivation impairs the prefrontal cortex. So that is the part of the brain region that is your focus, your risk management, your impulse control, you're making strong business-minded decisions. And if that is impaired because you're sleep deprived and it's just sluggish and not really super attentive and ready to go, then the amygdala, the emotional brain, is going to shove it right out the door and take over your morning. And so even the best of intentions, if you don't have that quick firing in your prefrontal cortex where you can make those really smart business choices, your brain slides to what happens more easily without being prompted, which is those emotional impulsive decisions. Everyone knows the slide I'm talking about when you just can't hold the focus and so it starts to get sloppier and sloppier. And usually you can't turn that around once you get it turned. So sleep is actually pretty important for that. Now there are days when I just don't sleep well. And if that's the case, I always try and at least catch up the next day. I mean, I deal with it. Maybe I leverage down in the morning if I haven't got a good night's rest. But when I can catch up, it's important to me to maintain sleep. I obviously am a mom though. I mean, I'm used to dealing with some sleep deprivation. But I do think that when we prioritize this in general, especially ahead of trading days, it's really powerful as a tool. And then movement too. So exercise literally physiologically elevates your dopamine and serotonin. And so those are the happy hormones. Those give you energy and you feel really good about life. So exercise actually elevates those. It causes your body to release them. So it directly improves your patience, your focus, your emotional regulation through all of life. And so I don't know anyone else's experience, but after a really nice walk or an exercise session or whatever your activity is that you enjoy doing, walking with your dog or playing with your kids, you just feel better. That feeling is a literal neurological hormonal experience in your body. And so it doesn't have to be anything heavy or aggressive or really dripping sweat, but just movement in general causes your body to release those hormones, and that creates that energy within you. And I don't know about you, but for me, I do a much better job at being peaceful and having good energy when I fit some movement into my day. And when I don't, and I just get zombied out in my screen time, or I don't feel well and I'm couch rotting, I just feel ickier. And I think that's the inverse of this, right? Which is a situation. And then nutrition also with this physical advantage that we're talking about here today. You do want to have and strive for blood sugar stability because that reduces emotional volatility. Everyone knows what hunger feels like. A stable body creates a stable mind and a steady hand on the trigger. When you are calm and fed and watered as if we're our own pet, treat yourself as your favorite pet, because behavior is better when we have the glucose and the nutrition and the balance that we need in order for our brain to fire at optimal functionality. If you're having high sugar hits and then lows where that drops out and you have no consistency from like some protein and some complex carbs holding you down there, keeping it from being such a high and a low situation, your body just reacts better, and it can take on volatility and impulse and excitement more steadily and not be as impulsive and jumpy because you have that stability of your blood sugar numbers. And so that's a very real scientific thing. I would encourage everyone to kind of just have this in the back of your mind. Again, not perfection, but as best as you can, because if you have some energy in your morning to set yourself up for the best success with sleep, with a little bit of nutrition, it kind of works out a little bit better. So you want to think about that setup. Is it costing you your ability to function well, or is it a benefit to you? So what you're doing, we all know our own truths here, and we all know what we could do better. For me, at the beginning, I said, what is something that you are currently working on? For me, it's both rest and movement in my life, because my schedule gets so busy sometimes that I lack in these things personally. I will cut sleep for things that I need to get done. And then maybe my mind cycles because I work too late and then I can't shut it off. And then also, if I just have too many things that I need to do in my office and then I'm running to kids, different things, I won't be able to fit in exercise all the time either. And so these are definitely two areas where I try to do better. And when I do better, I feel so much better. So this is a good conversation for me too, to remind myself that there is science behind this. You guys with me? Feel your experience a little bit? Okay, this one is psychology, serious psychology, right? But it is so true. So if you hear nothing today, I like this one a lot. So I think that believing in yourself is super, super powerful, for good or for evil if you are struggling with this. But your identity as a trader is downstream from your identity as a person. So if you don't fundamentally believe that you are capable, worthy, resilient, strong, able, but if instead you doubt if you will show up and you'll be able to do this, and if you really have what it takes, and if you're going to be the one that makes it, if you're going to be the majority that burn out and lose, that looks like hesitation on valid setups and over trading to fix it right now so no one has to see, and to prove yourself, and bailing early on winners. And so those are very different kind of energies that you can bring to your trading. This Henry Ford quote, of course, is the one that I was thinking of with this, of whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And so that is the self-belief kind of energy that confidence isn't built in a brokerage account. It's built in every promise you keep to yourself. And so if we don't fully embrace this, it's sneaky. This is a sneaky son of a gun, where it can be, you can self-doubt yourself, and you can go down the I don't know if I can do this. And what if it was just a one-hit wonder that I did so well that one month? And what if blah, 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 blah. Well, then that causes you to get down the what ifs trail instead of I know how to trade. I know what my setup looks like. I'm excited about these opportunities. I want to see what the market presents. I'm going to be patient because I believe in the abundance of the market. And I know that I've showed up for my trading career this long. And so clearly there's something there. And so believing in yourself that you've got this, nothing has to be perfect, but the fact that you just keep showing up and you have this positive energy and momentum towards what you are doing, that compounds over time too. And so I definitely would encourage you guys to just think about this, and in your quiet moments, this is when it's really impactful, because everyone has a voice that runs in the subconscious of their mind. And second guessing is so easy and insidious. And I think everyone does it to one degree or another. But if you can kind of capture those second guessing thoughts and pivot them into, it's fine. Even if I lost a trade or I had a day that ended red, like I'm still a trader who shows up every day and works my butt off and attends labs like today. And I put my mind on being my best self. And so that right there makes you worthy of all of the best successes because you're showing up for the work of it. So we've got to try and shift our internal subconscious thought from hesitation and concern and self doubt to that abundance and faith in ourselves. I love the whole idea of faith over fear, and everyone can have faith in whatever avenue they would like to believe in terms of God or higher power or what have you. But I believe in having faith in yourself because how we show up and the energy that we bring to our trading crosses over into our execution outcomes. Because when you are feeling abundant and patient and believing that you will see a good trade and you don't have to throw everything at just any kind of trade, it slows it down a little bit and you can have a little bit more patience with the market and your system and the long game mentality. And so this, I really hope that everyone kind of just like absorbs and strengthens how you think of yourself, because I think that we should all kind of, love ourselves a little bit more. Who cares about everyone else in this world? But the more we love ourselves is creating an example for the world on how we deserve to experience this life. Now, this kind of is different, but pivots on that. And welcome, Matt. Thanks for being here. Gratitude, you guys. Gratitude fuels an abundance mindset. And so I do think that what we are thankful for multiplies. And these things are closely tied. And this is about how, similar to what I'm saying with having faith and belief in yourself, this is a similar type energy, but it's more for like the opportunities and the world that we're presented with and seeing abundance over scarcity. So with scarcity thinking, I have to make money today. I need to get to this level. Like, this is not working. If it's not working, I told my spouse that I was going to make it by this month. And now I only have 4 days left in this month. Like, why am I going to have to face the music again? Like, I need to make it work now. That is a really destructive force in a trader's psychology because it's so much pressure and nervousness and anxiety, and it changes the way you view opportunity. But if we can shift it and try and really focus on gratitude, that will rewire the pattern in our minds. And so with gratitude, it's more of this, like there's so much opportunity. I just need to be patient for that. So, I love breaking down and seeing if there's science behind anything that I believe in and find good energy with. And so the science on gratitude is actually quite numerous. It's been studied in multiple different studies, different countries. But one study in 2019 found that gratitude practices reduced financial impatience and led to better long-term decision making, including delayed gratification and reduced impulsivity. And holy moly, do you not see how I'm talking trading here? Because we have got to make the best decisions that we can. And that sometimes means that we won't have an immediate P&L by 3 minutes into New York session. But instead, if we're patient for the absolute best setup to present, and then we put our leverage on the line, you're not the first one in and out of the trade, but you maybe caught the best trade of the day. And so that delayed gratification because you're choosing patience, because you know that there could be a really good setup and you want to kind of wait. Such good energy. It also reduces impulsivity as well because you're coming at whatever you're doing, being traded or anything, being thankful for the opportunity that you know is coming and kind of waiting to see what presents. And that patience is so valuable. And so with trading, like I said, you feel gratitude for your account, your P&L that you have had, the successful trades you have had, your access to the availability of trading, even to have high-speed internet and this knowledge, and someone introduced you to trading at some point, and now you're here and you're deep within this world. And it's like so beautiful. And so the skills that you have developed, the setups that you understand, the playbook that you have established or are building, that is something to be very grateful for. And so when you can instead be like, this is wild that as an adult, I have found this world where I can make hundreds of dollars in minutes. And I am surrounded by really good people who are striving towards the same goals that I am and bringing good energy. And we can kick back questions back and forth. And my accounts get to grow, and prop funding companies, holy moly, like look at BluSky, daily payouts and clear rules. And the opportunity is really beautiful. And so to be able to have this skill and the access, it's great. And so if we can have that approach to trading where we are grateful and it is abundant, then we do less of the monkey business of forcing trades out of kind of desperation. But instead, it's like Like we're doing this thing. And my experience has shown me that if I wait for my setup, then I can get a really quality trade. And so trading from that abundance basically pulls you out of that fear and scarcity mindset where you have to grab everything or else you're just not making it. And so I encourage all of us to try to shift that because it does change your energy and your approach to everything in life, but on trading, especially having that just beautiful view of your opportunities and the momentum that you could get and the experience that you do have and the people that are around you. Really powerful. So, do you guys sit down feeling grateful for the opportunity or pressure to perform? So we're about halfway through. I just want to see who's listening. Do you guys think about this? Is this a factor for who you are and how you want to approach your trading? Because I do. I found a couple years ago when I was trying to rewire my brain because I was struggling in trading that when I could shift and start to feel gratitude and appreciation and like started to notice in hindsight how I knew nothing. It was a total disaster on the charts my first several months to where I was even a couple years ago. It was like amazing. I was really excited about the opportunity and I've come even way farther than there. Yeah, Jaja. Thank you for listening and answering. But when I feel the gratitude for my opportunity, I have less pressure and less anxiety and less hunting for the P&L so that I can feel better about myself. More so it's like, dang, trading is so cool. Like, look at all the great people that I met and the opportunities. Yeah, Matt too. I think that it's a good energy. Yeah, diamonds are forged under pressure. Okay, so I do think that trading puts pressure on you no matter what. And I think that there's no way to succeed in trading without feeling the pressure and without losing and without having frustration moments. And so that is a part of why I think these conversations are so good because the pressure and the scarcity and the fear are non-negotiable. You are guaranteed to experience those as traders. And so what we have to do, the way in my mind, the way we have to deal with trading is how do we manage that? How do we get in those situations that are inevitable as traders? And how do we pivot those for actual growth and stability and longevity in this game? Um, yeah, every time you get out of the gratitude mindset messes you up. Yeah, same. Yeah, so I absolutely love your point about pressure creates diamonds because pressure creates change. And so when you are in a high pressure situation and maybe you do really want a P&L and you've been building your account for a long time and you tilt and you blow it and you're like real mad. Who's ever been there? Because I have. And that pressure and frustration and anger made me face this stuff, made me have these conversations with my mentor and my team and my accountability partner when I was in those moments and have experienced those moments in my career. And that pressure has made me have to pick. Like I can get real pissy and I can have a period of time where I am not doing well and I'm not pleasant to be around and I'm not using that experience for change. Or I can say, I'm real mad and go for a walk and do a workout and maybe have a beverage and then come back to like, okay, I learned if I can lose this much in a day, I can make this much in a day. What did I do wrong? How did my system fail me? Why didn't I have my daily loss limit on? Because I do know that that is protective. Like what the heck happened? And so when I shift from that inevitable pissed off pressure situation to the abundance and the lesson energy of what it has and the belief that I'm still growing, even if I had a hard day, that is when it's powerful. And so don't try to avoid the frustration moments, but instead use them for fuel and pull yourself back to this more often. Because that's when at the beginning of this lab, and I think we've had, trickling in, but none of this, no one is perfect with any of this, but it's all got to be intentional. And so if you intentionally are saying, I need to shift from my frustration energy to making it matter and doing a little bit less and still recognizing that it's abundant, like so good. Because you do that enough of time, it switches you. Okay, that actually leads really well into this next one. So being really intentional. So I think if you are really intentional with the choices that you make, then everything gets a little bit more precise because you're thinking through things and you're making your choices in a way that you have studied and you have experienced that are really powerful. For example, your morning routine, if you have experienced like sleeping in and maybe having too many drinks last night and staying up late and thinking you can still perform at your highest capability bright and early the next morning, and you kind of slide in blurry eyed with not even your coffee and you try and execute with precision, maybe those results aren't beautiful. But if you go to bed on time, you maybe half an hour late, whatever, you wake up on time, you do a little bit of purposeful deep breathing, you write out your trade plan, you draw your levels, you sip your coffee, you show up to BluSky Live, and you really nail your morning. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to bet that your mindset is better, your focus is better, your analysis is better, your ability to execute per plan is better. And then those things lead to that disciplined entry and the consistent results. Never going to be perfect because the market does things that we don't anticipate and no system is foolproof, but it doesn't need to be. It doesn't necessarily need to be a beautiful big P&L, but instead a strong risk management choice, executing on your system, patience for your trade to present. When you come at your entire day, your entire life really is what I'm talking about today, with that sort of intentional energy, it does set off a chain reaction. And the way that you show up and the chain reaction you start can go in any kind of way. So I'm going to say that I do better, and I encourage us to kind of own the chain reaction that we're starting, because there is a downward trajectory of that down the path that we're going, and which path you are on can look very different, right? We all know humans of all sorts of walks of life, and we have seen the outcomes of certain life choices. Generally, it's not like a high achieving, great P&L trader when you kind of half-ass things, for lack of a better term. So precision on the charts, it's not an isolated skill, as I guess kind of the core of it. So it's the natural output of a life lived with intention, of an approach to trading met with intention. It's deliberate choices that we make away from screens, on screens. It's the practice that you show up as in trading, the way that you have a trade system, the way that you journal, the way that you show up to labs and conversations and to your partners. Maybe you're having a great day, but your partner's not having a great day. So how did you show up in that relationship so everyone can grow together within the community? That approach to all of it leads down the line to how you execute your trades. Does that kind of make sense? I love Jim Rohn. Whoever doesn't know of him is missing out, because he is a wonderful human. But one of his quotes is, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. So if you have goals, just wishing them into fruition and having affirmations around them and really wanting them doesn't get you the outcome. But having goals and then having a disciplined approach and a strategy and intention with that is how you transfer goals into output. And so I love thinking about how we are moving through life and what energy we want to bring to it and where we want to go, what targets are, because your trading plan can be really strong, but it's really only as strong as the person executing it, right? Because you can monkey around and get all sorts of outcomes from a trading plan that maybe at its core is really good. But if you chase, you don't get your entry, and then you chase after it's already well underway. Or if you hesitate and then you end up taking a counter trend trade move because you didn't get the one you wanted, well, then it's still not good for the counter trend trade, but you're just having FOMO. Bringing the strongest person to your trade plan will help you execute it to the best of your ability, if that makes sense. Because something has to make our biggest goals the reality. And that is the choices that we make on the charts, off the charts, who we show up as, how we prime our bodies to do what we intend to, the self-talk that reminds us that we are capable and the market is abundant and the system works because we have spent all this time fine-tuning it. So lean into the system and try and embrace how you want to show up as a trader, because you've put energy there and you have experience there. And so letting that lead makes it so much easier to just go down that path, because your chain reaction is in the right direction. You have put forth the energy and the intention on being calm and patient and rested and attentive and tuning out noise that is toxic. That makes it so much easier to make healthy choices when you've cut out the unhealthy that led you to the moment where it's time to execute. It builds who you are and who the person is who's about to hit buy or sell. That's kind of the heart of this whole thing here. So now here's where I'm going to be real with you. We humans, and everyone slips. And I think, who hasn't been there? Because I certainly have, where you're trying to recognize that you're acting kind of a fool or a little wild or whatever. This other situation is really pulling your attention, and you want to try and piecemeal your life together and like do a really good job here, even though over here it's kind of a disaster of a situation at the moment, because that's life. Life isn't really clean. Humans have a lot of dynamic elements in our lives, whether it's driven by you or your family or the people around you, or maybe you have another job while you're learning to get good at trading and maybe there's some discord there. I think that it's easy to get kind of tripped up here because you target really doing a good job over here, but then letting the things over here slide. And that can work for a little while. It can be a situation in the short term that's not a big deal. But if it's long-term approach where this big part of your life is kind of crazy and unstable, but you really want to lock in over here and do a great job, there's a lot of risk with that because there's such crossover, like we've been talking about during this hour today. The brain seeks coherence. So there's some science behind this too. But basically, if you're disciplined on your trade plan, but chaotic in your schedule, your diet, your spending, your brain gets a mixed signal about who you are, about your priorities, about what you actually want. And it defaults to the dominant pattern. And so that's usually the unstructured one because it's so much easier to slide into unstructured kind of chaos. That's a natural slide of like not really pushing yourself to be your best. And so that default can kind of pull your energy and your executions fast. And so if you kind of think about, if you are doing all kind of crazy things, maybe you're deep in debt because you made some choices in another situation and you're trying to fix it in trading and you really just want to do this one trade, but you have all this carryover from all this other stuff, it's going to be a factor that is a risk. And so I think to our best ability, we've got to get that coherent with who we want to be on the charts. And not now, depending on what you have going on, that's not necessarily going to be a super quick, easy fix. It could take time and be something that has to be pivoted over time. And so allow that for yourself, right? I mean, we have to give ourselves grace to be where we're at in life and adjust with what we need to adjust with. I mean, I've certainly had some moments, even as recently as this year, that have really thrown me off my game and took my attention. And so I had to kind of stabilize things in order to be my best trader self because of this exact crossover. I think identity inconsistency leads to execution inconsistency, to say it in another way. The research on behavioral consistency does show that people act in line with their perceived identity, not their goals. So if your overall life doesn't reflect the trader that you want to be, you'll keep kind of reverting back because that's inconsistent. And the easier, like I said, is often where we slide to when we're not really, really purposeful. And so eliminating or downplaying the inconsistencies will make it easier to be stable because, like I said, you're not being pulled in multiple directions from different sort of energies. Instead, you're just on the trajectory that you set yourself on and it flows more easily instead of fighting the current and getting spun around in all kinds of ways and being in a really good trade and trying to do this thing and then having all this someone come at you. Maybe it's an unhealthy relationship and they're like, how are you supposed to trade well with that kind of energy at you? So that's something that you got to try and maybe back off on trading while you get this other thing stabilized so that you can really be focused in all the ways when you're trying to show up at a high risk, high performance situation, such as trading. Fixing only your trading without fixing your life, it's like patching one wall of a leaking house. You know, if there's multiple ways that it's just weeping all over the place and you're just trying to cover little band-aids on things, like the net output is the leak. So I think that this one is complicated because everyone has different kind of external forces and situations going on. But to our best of our abilities, try to narrow it down. Now, I'm not saying you can't be a successful trader if you have external forces that are kind of heavy, but I do want you to know that that's a risk. And so in order to try and when you're at your trading computer, if this is your situation, to the best of your ability, I would encourage you to try and situate whatever the external force is as best you can and put it out of your mind. That way, when you have your hands on the buy and sell button, you're really dialed into having that focus because it's harder. It is harder to be consistent on the charts when your life is a little bit chaotic. That's just sort of literally neuroscience. So just, something to bear in mind with that. So you guys, I am a firm believer in giving ourselves grace, which is important to come after that last slide because, humanity, right? We are people. We have families, we have external forces, we have stressors, we have financial responsibilities as adults. And so knowing that life is not perfect and we should not have to try and be perfect, that's just kind of the situation, and that it's okay. Sustainable transformation is slow by design. Research on habit formation shows that it takes an average of 66 days for a new behavior to become automatic, not 21. I have even heard that that is nowhere near the truth either, that it's even more than that. And so basically, it's a lot. It's a lot of consistency of showing up and then allowing that to become who you are and gravitate to more naturally. But depending on how hard it is or how complex it is, and how layered it is, it's going to be any number of days, but at least 66 per recent studies. The goal is not perfection. The goal instead is more a genuine whole life shift that rewires who you are at your core so that the focused intentional trading is simply an expression of who you've become. Now, this is how I got to my first like payout season, my first successful season is when I really embraced this of like, I gotta be more real with who I am. Like I still had a lot of external noise going on and I'm blaming, past things in my life that were hard. So of course I wasn't making it because look where I came from and blah blah blah. Like the internal story of strife and struggle and not having enough early capital and whatever, like being in that kind of negative, like this is hard headspace was holding me back. And when I embraced shifting my mind to the gratitude and letting it take time and believing how far I have come, that shifted my core. And it took a while. Yes. Strive for excellence, not perfection is exactly it. And so it's in children's sports, it's in a business life, it's in entrepreneurship, it's in trading, it's in a successful life because literally humans cannot be perfect. There is no such thing as perfection. And what you're dealing with at the time just shifts over time. The struggles that kids deal with is different from teenagers, is different from young adults, is different from middle-aged adults. Um, you're never going to have a perfect situation. So instead, striving for that genuine, good energy, purposeful approach, intentional adjustment to what we're doing in life, that shifts who we are and how we come to trading. And that gives us the energy for our best outcomes on the charts because it sets us up for a pathway of smooth, steady approach to everything. James Clear was the author of Atomic Habits, which I'm pretty sure everyone has read. And if you haven't, you're missing out. Do it. But one of his quotes is, "You don't rise to the level of your goals; you fall to the level of your systems." And so, if you just choose to always have a strong system on trading and with life, and on nights before you're trading, maybe you don't drink if that's something you do, and you go to bed on time, and you wake up at a reasonable hour. That way, your eyes can get up, your brain can get firing on all cylinders, and you can be ready to execute your system. That type of energy 5 days a week when you want to trade puts you on the path to make it smoother to being focused and seeing your setups with patience and abundance mindset. And so having the systems in place just makes the habit formation and the habit adherence easier. And we're all about like knowing that as humans, there's not perfection and the market's going to do whatever she's going to do. And no trade system is foolproof. Having that best setup and that best approach and intentionality, we need to make it easier. Like any advantage that we can get in our trading, we should take. And this whole conversation about setting yourself up on the best trajectory for that path that you're going to go down is powerful because it's beyond just the strategy of knowing what a good trade setup is, the candle pattern, the execution trigger. Those are critical to being a good trader. You can't be a good trader without that. But this is the backbone of that, of how you show up in order to execute that. Like someone can write that down for you. You can buy that on the internet, I'm sure, that says when you see XYZ on this type of market, do this, make money. Probably it's true. But the reason why a lot of people burn out of trading is because the back end is this of like adherence and understanding and the complexities and the support and the faith in yourself and coming at it with really smart intention and treating it as a business shapes your ability to execute as that. Flips are part of the process. They don't erase progress, but they're data points, just like a losing trade. And so that's this whole don't strive for perfection. Instead, recognize that each day will shore you up, will give you experience, will teach you something, whether it's good, bad. I should have held longer. I made money. I could have done this better. I didn't make money. This is what I kind of missed. This is how I think I want to see it differently. Yes, long game, exactly. And like letting little things pick at your ability to hold steady is not it. Like let that crap go and lock into like the long game of I show up every day and I believe in my ability to succeed. And so I'm going to give myself grace along this journey. Like it's just really important. So let's talk about the action plan, kind of bring it all together here. You don't have to overhaul everything overnight, and you shouldn't. You strive to do that, you're gonna make yourself crazy and just mess yourself up more. But instead, like pick an area. I think we all have areas that we are not perfect in because we're humans. So I would encourage you guys to pick an area after hanging with me for the session today and start to build some identity evidence around who you want to be in that area and something that you can strive to do a little bit better and see how that kind of plays over into your executions on the charts. And so sometimes it's just being really honest with how you journal, write out your really clear trade review. You don't have to share it with anyone if you don't want to, whatever serves you in that purpose. But really saying, like, I was kind of jumping on this entry. Had I waited for this, it would have been cleaner. And this was such a good setup that I should have had a little bit more size and scaled in this way. So if I see this again, I should remember that it did go 3x instead of just one R to R. And so even on the winning days, being really honest with your trade review will give you more knowledge and wisdom and experience and make you a stronger trader down the line. But not ever journaling or just haphazardly saying like, I won, so I'm cool, like, let's go. There's always lessons to take. So if you really believe in your trading is your business, like accept every single little information bit so that we can like be our best, right? And then protect your morning. So commit to something in your pre-market routine that makes you stronger. Really good sleep or a little bit of movement in the morning, stretching or what have you, a strong breakfast, hydration in the morning. Sometimes I'm West Coast, and so I cannot eat at 6 a.m. It's just too early. But I do want to prioritize my sleep and a little bit of stretching and some water to start my day. I don't actually go straight into coffee, which is surprising some people who know me because I'm pretty energetic. But whatever it is that gives you the strongest setup before you start engaging in the market, it's probably not like, late sleep and just, big slug of sugar or something, but everyone knows how they set it best. So if there's something in the morning that you do sometimes and you feel way better with, try to do that more often and see how that goes. Gratitude is something that I cannot preach enough. And I don't like to say preach, but like encourage, believe in, support, have felt the difference of in my own life. And so I wish that for everyone. And I think that it's kind of maybe a soft word, a fluffy word, whatever. Judge me if you would like, but also don't judge me. Before your session, just name things that you're grateful for and just kind of put your mind's eye on like, I'm so thankful for this opportunity to trade and my safe, warm home that I got to wake up in and this delicious coffee with the creamer, just how I like it. Like, can you see just saying three little things with your eyes closed and picturing them in your eye and like being in that place? Like it's good hormones just right there. That dump of like, gosh, like I've got some good stuff in front of me. I've got good opportunity. It kind of pulls you into that like gratitude, which leads to abundance, which leads to patience and waiting for your setup. It all spirals into each other. And so starting your day with gratitude is a really powerful approach. And then an intentional spend decision. So if you think about your risk management and how much you're going to allot for a trade, what your goals are financially, maybe you make sure that you're putting all of your capital and your choices with your money on your biggest goals. Some people this is an issue for, some people it's not an issue for at all, but try to make smart choices across all of your financial things. It does play over into your risk management on the charts of making sure you're kind of aligning that aspect of your life for your greatest good as well. It's a power choice. All right. So let's just kind of round it all out today with thinking about who we are becoming as traders. Because most elite traders in the world aren't elite only in trading. You guys know what I mean? Like the one we've seen the trader interviews out there on YouTube for the traders who've really like done some really cool stuff and made some money and made some impact and are really out there in the world. They're elite in more areas than just trading. Just driven, intentional, self-aware humans. Their trading is a reflection of that. I mean, right now, I didn't even plan for this, but I'm just saying this out loud. Like, look at Mike Tolbert, who is the owner of this company and created BluSky with a team of traders that he had been with for many years. That type of energy, who is like a strong trader and leads and shares his ideas and supports his friends and has the idea to bring this wider and to create a company and have that company be really honest and authentic and support traders and the growth. Like that is an example right there of wanting to be elite in multiple areas and how it kind of crossed over. Because I don't, when he started trading, I doubt that the where he is now was his initial goal, but it spirals. You start that cascade of effect of who you want to be, how you want to show up, who you meet, how you show up to the people that you meet, how it grows, how you can see a bigger P&L, how you can see a bigger P&L as a team, how you can think about what you can do with the money that you're making and how you can spread that and how you can share that wisdom. I mean, there's literally no other prop funding company owner and boss trader who trades like Mike does here at BluSky. And that's incredible. And that sort of energy has cascaded into building something pretty impressive. And so I believe in that energy. One small example of this whole situation. So it's not the daily increase, but the daily decrease. Hack away at the inessentials. That's a Bruce Lee quote for cut out the things that don't serve you and lean into what really does. Like do the things that make you strong and powerful and set off the right chain reaction for who you're trying to be. If that makes sense. So this is what I want for me. This is what I want for you. This is what I want for all of us is to level up our whole lives, to embrace where we're going and allowing the charts and our executions to follow. Like how you do one thing, how you do everything. So how we show up, who we are, what we set up for our day, what we set up for our lives, what we set up as our approach for the long game does snowball. And it doesn't happen overnight because many, many days of habit formation and then the P&L is the laggingest of lagging indicators, right? But it matters and it builds. So if you guys have hung with me, I appreciate you all for being here. I do want you to think on a personal level just of what we thought about today. One aspect of all of this, I would argue that all of us could put a little bit more intention on. And so think about that for yourself and continue to try and just level up your whole self because I think we all should be rich. And I think that trading is a method for creating wealth when we harness it for good and putting our whole energy behind it. Like that builds to that. So that's what I got today. Thank you guys for being with me. This Tuesdays will be psychology day. I'm going to do a psychology lab every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, the hour before power hour. Sometimes the market is still a little sluggish from coming out of lunchtime. And so we kind of wanted to shake up the schedule to have some variations in our streaming content. And so psychology lab we just wrapping it up. It's at 2 p.m. on Tuesdays. And then technical lab with Coach Matt is excellent. And that is on Thursdays at this time. So appreciate you guys all being here. Thanks, Jaja. I really appreciate your interaction today and kicking it back and forth with me. Matt, as always. Fatima, you're my girl. I appreciate you guys. So cheers to gratitude and good energy and building who we want to be in this life and getting the P&L that follows. Now, I had a great trading morning. I streamed with Justin this morning. We had really some solid trades this morning. Let's get back to the charts. I'm going to pop off screen here in a moment, and we're going to just transition because Coach Matt and I want to talk through Power Hour with you. And so you guys don't have to go anywhere. We're just going to flip the screen for a minute, and Matt and I will be on in just a minute to talk charts with y'all. So thank you for being here. Be right back. Hey guys, welcome back to Blue Sky Live. We are here with Power Hour, Coach Becky and Coach Matt here, and see what the market has got for us today, the rest of the day. It was an interesting morning. Coach Justin and I were here in the morning. It was fun. Now we're here at Power Hour. So welcome back. And Coach Matt, how are you? How was your day? What's your read on this market?
Day's going good. Excited to be here with the crew to break down all the market activity during Power Hour. Caught a little bit of you and Justin early in the morning session. Thought you guys were fantastic. And as always, I caught you for your lab. And so I was hanging like a fly on the wall listening to all the great mindset there, Becky. Absolutely loved it, every second of it. If you haven't had a chance to review the lab, definitely go back and do so. Becky, you literally bring it every Tuesday, like truly, from your slides to your design to your preparation to your message. Love absolutely everything about it. So day's been going good. I'm enjoying all the content here. As we get into Power Hour, a couple things are interesting to me. One is kind of on the NASDAQ, kind of above that 30K level. Took a pretty aggressive trade right here as we did get above that 30K level. And as you were dancing against this over resistance level, went right above that resistance level, did officially get stopped out right here. Just a little bit of a small green trade there, Becky. But if it's green, I'm good to go, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And now I'm looking at a little bit of a reset situation as the pullback here is getting interesting, coming back down to that 30K level on the 5-minute chart here. One thing to keep in mind as we do navigate the Power Hour, this is the ultimate ball game for the Bulls. If the Bulls hold this level, we could get a little bit of a move here. Bulls, if the Bears break this level where the current market is, right above the 30K level, it's just not going to be a bullish conversation in Power Hour, in my opinion. So Bulls have the edge as we start Power Hour. They got the pattern on the 15-minute time frame. They got the level right at that 30K level, and now they're looking for a little bit of continuation expansion here. By the way, I still have a partial on the original trade. I just got out of the majority of it. Did stop me out underneath the 5 EMA, but I still got a partial right in here. Now, on the flip side, I don't see anything bearish until we're underneath this 30K level. I would not be doing anything too aggressive on the bear side while we're above 30K. That's just one of those very, very significant whole numbers. It's also got a lot of moving averages to support that level as well. And so for the Bears, I think it does start here at 30K underneath. For the Bulls, let's see what we can get here. Now, when you're looking across the board at some of the other assets here, one of the amazing things today is the ES diverged from the NQ on the overnight session, and the ES was not giving us that very similar view. I mean, when you're talking about the ES right now, you're talking about a 15-minute consolidation pattern at the low point of the chart. When you're talking about the NQ right now, you're talking about a 15-minute bullish uptrend at the top end of the chart. I see that a lot when you're kind of dialing in the Russell 2000 versus something else, or the Dow Jones versus something else. A little bit unique on the S&P 500. If you're looking for anything continuation to the downside, and I said this earlier in the session as well, but I do think you're looking underneath the price here. I don't love anything inside this range. If you're looking for a bullish situation, you got 4 wicks right here at 33 on the ES, and you got a pretty clean setup right around the 17 level. And so inside pattern, don't love it. As we break out of neutrality, I actually do. And so it's one of those things where I don't think we're going to get a lot of love on the ES here today. I've been liking the NQ a little bit more here today, and I certainly do right now as well. What's your thoughts as we kind of jump into Power Hour here today?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. This morning we saw there was a little pullback at open, and then the bulls were very strong. But NQ has been stronger all day today. ES, when it did the pullback after the morning move up, it took out the low of the day, and NQ did not. She's held up stronger and almost exclusively trading above VWAP, whereas ES has traded on both sides and kind of played all angles. But ES has been weaker in general. Like NQ made all-time highs and like hit that 30K. And ES is kind of more inside still of last week and kind of dabbling around the high, but did not break out yet. So I like your read. I like that NQ is stronger. I love your trade. Looks like Fatima caught that too. So yeah, ES I think could hold here as well though. And if it can break out of this pullback that we just experienced and push higher, that if they can both be in sync with a bullish move here, that's my read as well. I'm not comfortable with the shorts because both had a pullback and it was defended multiple times by the bulls today. So I definitely am in favor of a long on ES or NQ, but NQ has been the stronger energy today. So
yeah, that's where I see it as well. I mean, that Micron news earlier today just really propelled a little bit of an AI NASDAQ move here today.
oh, right.
Everything else kind of just held back a little bit. Dow down, Russell flat, NASDAQ up 1.5 points. Micron was the catalyst here today. UBS gave them let's just put it like this. Oftentimes, when a bank upgrades a stock, they're usually chasing the stock, meaning prices already went up 1,000,000,000%, and the bank who was left behind says, "Oh, we're going to upgrade to catch up." Price is already at 800, and they're like, "We're going to increase our price target to 675." It's like, "Well, we're already at 800. Guys, what are we doing?" That's not what UBS said here today. UBS came out with a legitimate upgrade saying, "Hey, listen, we expect 100 times earnings. We expect to double." I see Breezy's out there. He knows exactly what I'm talking
He's
about.
looking.
He's like, "Yeah, I saw that upgrade."
Yeah.
The Perma Bulls here, like, "Yeah, we saw that upgrade."
Breezy saw it this morning too. He was mentioning it.
Yeah, it was a legitimate upgrade because a lot of times when you play the upgrade downgrade game, it's legitimately just a game the market plays, quite frankly. But when you see a legitimate upgrade, Micron got a legitimate upgrade. They said, "Hey guys, we think this is going to the moon." They might as well said the target's on Mars on Micron. And so it was a very legitimate catalyst today that really kind of propelled, which is amazing because we didn't really get anything on NVIDIA today. It was really just a Micron situation. And so Micron has really little to do with the S&P 500. Micron has quite a bit to do with the AI trade. And so you're seeing that overperformance on the NQ where the ES is kind of left behind. That's kind of why I feel like if we do see a move to the downside, I don't like going against the NASDAQ, honestly. It's one of the things where I like the top side of the NASDAQ and I like the downside of the ES. Because if you do clip this low level here at the 17, yeah, you have a short porch target down to 7,500. But on the 15-minute chart, you really don't have anything outside of 7,500 in terms of anything that's too scary from a technical perspective until you start working down around the 82 pivot. This is what I call a pocket, and pocket is where momentum can really, really live. And so just keep an eye on that. Might be a later on tonight conversation. Hell, it could be an even tomorrow conversation. But this level is a very important level for the ES. And on the resistance side, the 34 level is a very important level on the top side for the ES. I don't have a strong opinion in neutrality when it comes to trading. I love catching trends. I don't love trading in between a billion different data points. But the ES does have clean levels. It's choppy in between, but it does have clean levels. On the NASDAQ, and that's what we're going to stick on here for a second, just a little bit of an easier bullish conversation here. Like you said, you had better strength in the morning, you had less weakness in the afternoon, and you're finishing stronger in the late session here.
Yeah.
And so I still like the NASDAQ, and I like the NASDAQ getting up to 3,100. So I'm targeting the 100 level on the NASDAQ.
Yeah.
On the partial I'm holding against that pullback. I didn't hold the whole thing against the pullback.
Nice. Beautiful. Yeah, I love that read. And with ES too, the view up, if we can push up, if we can hold higher and go up a little bit more with NQ to close, 34, 35 is view up as well. So I like that as a target too. But NQ hopefully will buoy them and pull them along if they are to hold. But that gap is big enough, and we only have 45 minutes left of the day on ES. And so to fall down into that and not have it hold again would be surprising to me because we're just out of time. Like I think it was earlier in the day. I think there's time to fill that pocket, but I just don't, we weren't able to when we were down there earlier today and we did the double bottom in the last 2 hours and it couldn't break down in ES. And so, I mean, who am I? Who is showing up here as I'm like pro team bull right now? What is happening?
I'm hearing like a lot of permeable status there, Becky.
But
no, it's like it's not about, we like to have fun on the perma bull, perma bear. We'll all take bull trades. We'll all take bear trades.
Yes.
But it's for us, and I think for most people here, it's not about the perma bull, perma bear. I think that's just, like I said, a fun conversation. I think it's more about what's the read on the technicals. If the technicals tell us to be bullish, let's be bullish. If the technicals tell us to be bearish, let's be bearish. And right now the NQ is telling us to be bullish.
Yep.
And even though I still like my trade, I do think there's an aggressive trade here. Like you consolidate here for another 2 bars on the 5-minute chart, you bust up this 60 level. That's a 40-point quick swing up there.
Yeah.
So I like 2 more bars here, and that would be a really good setup going into that breakout of that 60 level. So I'm just going to ride here, but that would be a good little scalp zone too, in my opinion.
Yeah. I talked myself into a little bit of a bullish position on MES right now.
Say again?
I talked myself into a little bullish position on MES right now. See if we can get up there to that 34 area.
Let's see that. You can definitely get back up here. If we break, well, the thing about it is like the divergence on the ES and the NQ was more in the early morning session and the New York session. That's where you really seen the divergence. They've kind of been reconnected recently, like this upward movement in price, this pullback, this consolidation. If I get my 100 point move on the NQ, you are absolutely getting 33 in my opinion on the ES.
I can get 8 on ES.
Yeah, you only need 8 points. You're fine. You're fine. Yeah, Tam, the ES has been a boring show all day. Well, not all day.
The morning
The cash open and the morning session was volatile and pretty aggressive. I usually don't trade that. So when I say all day, it's usually when I started trading. And it hasn't given me a reason to do anything yet. I don't like playing in neutrality. I like playing the ranges of neutrality. I like like for example, I love trading multiple time frame breakouts. You got a multiple time frame situation here. You got double pivots on the 5-minute chart at 17, and you got double pivots on the 5-minute chart at 33. I like trading those breakouts. I like trading these breakdowns here. I don't love trading in neutrality, but what I will say is in neutrality with an increase in support, that is a good front run situation to see. So I actually really like Becky's trade. It's just, it has to be a front run into a breakout, and that's what's happening here.
Yeah. And there was a nice pivot to put my risk behind, which I like. And I like that it was holding the support of the morning. There's no real aggression. The VWAP bands have flattened out. And so like it doesn't strike me as an aggressive move at the end, which means like a migration back up to the mean fits as well. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if you guys get 38, to be honest. Like
I'm going for 34 and a half at VWAP.
You're gonna have to break some stuff that I don't think you have the ability to break to get to 38.
Yeah.
Not just with the time. Exactly, Becky. Just not with the time, but 34, 35. There's just a lot of resistance above this pivot point. That's why there's a pivot point here. Is the cluster above that is big time, including VWAP, which is at 35 right now.
Yeah. It's good calling that anomaly though, too. That actually supports the fact that we could want to get to the base of it here too. So that's a good confluence with around that same area.
Well, I definitely like the ability to get back up to the base, but
yeah,
I just don't like the market having the ability to break out of that when it hasn't done it all day. And now we got a cluster of 14 different resistance points right above 35.
Yes. Agreed.
3065, Jonathan? You give me 3065, I'll be fine. Like in the I'm fine. Like I'm okay. I'm fine. I want 100. Give me my 100.
Where did we get to? Yeah, where is the high at this morning? Where did we?
Like 118.
Yeah, 17, 18. Okay. There's a 15-minute resistance on the Qs. Oh yeah, we're kind of pushing up into the morning resistance on NQ. Let's go. Strong finish. Strong finish. What is the daily looking like?
We pumped to 100. I'm going to be happy today.
Yeah. Ooh, the daily is interesting.
Real fantastic on a breakout. Like the daily chart looks fantastic.
Strong, because that gap up and like the pushing and looks bullish.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's the NASDAQ. I wouldn't go against NASDAQ.
Yeah. AI is running
They're
this world.
they're punishing the bears in a historic way. We're talking
You're right.
like a historical punishment right now.
Yeah. Yeah. True
That daily
story.
chart is unforgiving.
Oh, I know, right, Vodka? Like, what is happening? Why is she such a boss?
Um, I don't know. It's kind of like buying the steam engine the day the first steam engine came out. Like, I don't know.
Just if
New
you're on the
technology
train,
gets people excited.
enjoy the ride. Yeah. Well, the world is changing, and that is palpable. I mean, it's AI has officially infused literally like almost everyone's life. Like it's even if it's just like the very, very minor chat GBT occasional use, but it's in everything. I mean, you go to your doctor's office and they're transcribing via AI. It's undeniable now that it
Mhm.
is massive impact in humanity.
I just don't think the 99 comparisons are an appropriate comparison for the importance of this tech build out versus what we were doing back then. Um, the vast majority of companies in the tech build out in round one were debt driven companies, high valuation companies, no revenue. All of it was speculation. I would say we were there a year and a half ago on the AI side of the equation. I think this build out is a historic build out, and that is even before we get into robotics and automation. And I mean, just the amount of money that's putting into the hyperscale from the hyperscalers and the GPU build out. There's just a lot of fundamental differences. There are some commonalities, obviously. I mean, we're talking a tech build out one versus tech build out two. Both of them are disruptive by nature. There's no doubt about that. Uh, and so it's one of those things where I never thought the creating of websites and whatnot was going to disrupt the labor movement very much. I kind of feel AI is going to disrupt the labor movement. And so I do think it's a little bit different fundamentally. No, I know you do. We've had this conversation before between you and I. I'm just kind of giving out my thoughts on that. But so I do see it fundamentally differently. But the technical charts, kind of what you're talking about as well, there is a tremendous amount of commonality between 99 and right now. That 100% agree with that. Um, I don't think we're done yet, by the way. Like 99, not 2000. I did love that comment. But there are some momentum conditions right now that you cannot assume is going to continue in the future. And so that's the 99 to 2000 comment. But yeah, I definitely agree with you on the technical side of the equation. There is some commonality there technically, absolutely. I want to short the Nasdaq. Like, no. Hedge funds are insane right now. They're chasing shorts against the AI trade, and I'm sorry, earnings season was too good to short the AI trade right now. And there's going to be a time where we want to short the AI trade. Like there is going to be a time we do that. There is no doubt about that. But that ain't when you're talking about a momentum trend on the daily chart with weekly expansion in wave one of Elliott wave theory. That's not the time out of a high base 2 bar consolidation breakout on the weekly chart and a momentum pump on the daily chart. You go against that if you hate life and you want to get kicked in the face. That's what you do if you want to go against the Nasdaq right now. Now, on an intraday chart, that's a different conversation. I'm talking about shorting the movement, not just shorting a intraday pocket there.
I love RQ. He's like, ah, close my short.
I'm not talking day trading, RQ. I'm talking the hedge funds taking a net short position against the AI trade. They've increased their short exposure. Yeah, you do not go against the NQ. Guys, why would you go against the strength of the market? There's weakness in the market. Go find it. Like, don't short the strength, short the weakness.
Speaking of weakness, we call that the Dow today. Did you see that?
That's right. RQ's like, all right, Matt told me to go short something, market order on anything. Becky said
At least
down.
do the Dow. At least do the Dow. Pivot real quick. I mean, I don't know. She's
That was
already
a
fallen today. I
wonderful
don't know what she's
breakdown
doing now.
earlier in the session there,
Ooh.
RQ.
She was
And there is
she
some
was the bear of the day.
divergence today. Holy cow.
Yeah. It's all day
Wow.
in Q or Dow has just been meh.
Divergence ever. This is like the only times I see this type of divergence between the Dow and the NASDAQ is on a big time earnings day.
Yeah, what
Like
is
when you
that?
get like a negative earnings in like one of the healthcare companies and a blow off top on Micron. This is an interesting day here.
Yeah, kinda, right? Like, that this morning when I noticed that, I was like, what's happening? What's happening? Why Dow so mad?"
They were mad too.
Come
They were
on.
throwing a temper tantrum earlier in the
Yeah.
session.
She's not letting up either. She's, like, on a tear.
How toxic Lulu can get? We were talking about this the other day as
Ooh,
well.
this
I
is
think we
one
were having the
conversation.
conversation last week,
Pull
actually.
it up. I wanna see.
It
Ooh,
can get toxic,
ooh.
but how far can the pain go before the pain's too far?
I mean, I do love my joggers, but that is not a cute chart.
500 to 126 over a 2-year time frame.
Ouch.
That's nasty. Can anybody tell me when the consumer can afford $200 pants again? I'll buy Lulu with you.
Yeah. No, thank you.
There is going to be a moment on Lulu where the hate's too far. This is a profitable, good company. Like this is not a debt driven,
They're still
speculation
strong.
bid here. This was the second most important retail company next to what I would say probably Apple in the 2010s. So it's been a minute, but I don't think Lulu's going out of business anytime soon.
Yeah. Just having a minute.
That is true.
Mhm.
That
Yep.
is true. That's a good point, Vodka.
Yep. That's a good point.
The people shopping at Walmart for food aren't exactly the same people shopping at Lulu for $200 pants.
Most of my joggers are Kirkland brand. I don't know if you guys know Kirkland brand, but let's talk about Costco this
Let's go to
week.
Costco, baby. They got
Hey,
earnings this week.
they sure do.
Speaking my language here, like
Let's take a
Lulu.
peek at that. Costco strong.
Although my favorite hoodie of all time, because I always wear a hoodie, like it's just
Yeah.
part of my DNA. Maybe not a hoodie, but an overshirt.
This is a big Northwest man.
It was from Lulu. Don't tell anybody this. I don't want to admit this to the public channel, but it was from Lulu, and it was it just felt right. It just felt right. I wore it so much that I had to get rid of it because my wife said it stunk so much.
I mean, you are live streaming, my friend, but
Oh, we are. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Oopsies.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, I know. The few things that I have, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna, yeah, I get it.
RQ, I full knew well what I was saying, my friend. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
This is good development here, by the way. Good little 60. Can we break 60? Can we get the run? Let's go. Let's go, go, go. Yes, I'll take a look. Guys, in Power Hour, if you want me to take a look at anything, hit me up.
Holler it out. We love questions of any kind, charts, questions, whatever.
RQ loves momentum so much he found a stock that's called Momentous.
They spoke the language. I mean, look at that momentum today. Dang.
Well, what you wanted me to do on a gap up like this?
Observe and report.
I'd say draw your level, wait on your development, 16 or a pullback to 10. That's it.
Go, go, go. ES is getting it.
What was the news here, RQ? On
She's so crazy.
MNTS. I don't know the company.
Me neither.
Is that what they are? Are they connected to SpaceX? By the way, SpaceX IPO coming out next month. I can't wait. So excited. Is that what happened? Inside information got dropped. It's immediately going on the watch list. I can't wait for SpaceX's IPO. Very excited. By the way, recommendation, don't trade IPOs. Let the volatility decline. And it specifically, OpenAI is also going to be filing an IPO in the next couple months as well. I can't wait to see that one go down by 50%. It's going to be fantastic. IPO 80% of the time, don't quote me on this, but this is my opinion, 80% of the time IPOs go down.
Yeah, they've been front run by too
Yeah.
many early investors, and there's so much profit taking the IPO. So I'm 100% like maybe sometimes the morning of there's a pump, but do not hold that bag.
Yeah, don't hold that back.
Mm-hmm.
If you love a company post IPO, give it a couple months. It's much better when you get some technical edges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. And we're going to talk about all year.
Yeah, I think space is going to be heating up for the next decade, RQ. Like, I think we're going to be putting data centers in space in the next 7 to 10 years. And I think SpaceX is in a wonderful position to take advantage of all that. So yes, I think it's important to have space or some degree of space asset class in the portfolio. Yes.
Yep. Same boat. Yep. We're all looking the same.
Rockets, space, you name it.
The new frontier.
It just is. It just is. We're entering into the Star Trek universe, team.
Yeah. I mean, we can only fill this earth up to a certain degree. There's some conversations about getting up there.
Yeah, vodka. I'm definitely going to be an investor long term in SpaceX. There's no doubt about that. I won't buy the IPO.
I love that. We're going up to the blue skies.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
the trade is
We're the
popping.
right team to
like these
enjoy
bulls
this
right now.
conversation. By the way, we're getting the break on the NQ.
Yeah, I'm so into it.
Let's go.
Let's go. Pumping. Who's in this
Let's
long
talk
with
it up.
us? Let's go.
No short negativity here. We're long here, NQ,
Yes,
guys. No
NQ
short
pushing.
negativity.
Mm-hmm. All this talking about space got the market excited.
Mm-hmm. we got a 40-point space pocket here. Let's go.
Yep. Take it. There's a couple.
You know what? We're going to go to 2 screens here so we can watch this NASDAQ chart play out real quick.
Was SoFi asked about too? Did you already pull up SoFi? Was asked
let's take SoFi first.
Okay.
Give me a second. There we go. SoFi, I have an opinion of SoFi. I don't know who asked the question, but I will say this. I do have an opinion of SoFi. I do like the company. I like the double bottom at 15, and SoFi isn't a tradable asset for me. It's more on the cash flow side of the equation. This is more like a really, really good, aggressive cash flow stock, in my opinion, on SoFi. Really good on like covered call analysis, for example. So you come over here to SoFi, you can buy a $16 stock, come out 23 days from now, sell a 40 delta contract, just to give you my thoughts here, and lock in 50 cents, which is right around 3% ROI without margin. You compound 3% cash flow every single month for 3 years, and you're going to triple your money in SoFi. So I see it more through a covered call analysis on SoFi. And if you're looking at buying a company to do covered calls on, oftentimes you don't want to chase a tradable situation. You want to wait for a double bottom and really kind of get some technical value there. So that's where my thoughts are on SoFi. That's kind of how I feel about SoFi. On the SHLS here, this is a beautiful multiple time frame breakout situation that has not had a close above $11 at any point in a while now. That kind of stands out to me. Long-term reversal candidate here. Long-term reversal candidate with some upside potential. Overextended going into a multiple time frame level. I'll just tell you what you'd like to see because I don't chase things. So I wouldn't chase this regards. And I definitely want to chase it in front of a $11 handle that has multiple supply zones to it. But I would love a high base here, even a pullback to $10 to kind of reset that distance running into that $11 breakout. This one looks pretty good on that side of the equation, I would say. Oh, we're getting our pump. Let's go.
Almost there.
Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. I'm going to start singing Journey Don't stop believing. Let's go.
Yes.
Team, who's on Team Bull right now? Let me know. I want to see. I want to see in chat who
I know
is
my market man
officially
is.
on Team Bull right now.
See, this is gonna be tricky if my husband ever tunes in because I really like your name, market man. I'm gonna have to talk about you all the time. Like my market man, he green. Just saying. Ooh, I just got filled. Okay, that's my target.
That's why you're asking me all the long-term questions there, Vodka. You got locked out. Totally get you right now. I see you, brother. I'm right there with you. Jay Kelly, you're Team Bull.
Team Bull.
Jonathan, Team Bull. All right, let's get that. Let's get that back, guys. Let's get that 100 handle.
Yes, just hit her VWAP target. So
By the way, I
I'm
originally made this trade right here, Becky. I sat through my partial against that pullback.
Like a
If you're going to catch a trend, you got to learn how to stand through a pullback. Just typically on a partial, because I would not have sat through that pullback on the
with full size.
Would not have happened. I would have got emotional about it. I would have called the trigger. I guarantee I would have got triggered here. Guaranteed.
Nice.
But I didn't.
Yeah. You guys, I locked some of my accounts this morning. It was so solid, but I kept my Tradesy ones available for Power Hour because Power Hour. But this was a nice pop. This is a good call out, Matt. You led the way with these bulls. That was a good pivot. ES was at a lower level. That's why I was more comfortable doing ES because it had a nicer pullback. And so my risk was less when we started streaming. It was at a lower point in the turn. So plus, you know, I love a VWAP during Power Hour target. That's my language.
You do love a VWAP. You do. You've drilled that 3 times in the last like 7 trading sessions.
Dude, that's A+ for me. And we got a rotational vibe. We got a supporter resistance holding, especially on like the second or third hit, and we're pulling back inward. Like, he's pretty.
I just want to get to 100 so I can finally close the rest of this trade. Let's go.
I'm with you, Fatima. Are you in still? Are you still got some long on ES, girlfriend? Because I shut it down at VWAP. But it happened so fast. It was like waiting. And then we started talking about
the ES look up here for you as well. Oh, ES, yeah, it already tagged it. Well done. There you go. You're already done. You're already done.
I'm done.
You're like, I'm already good. Now I've got to watch Matt stress this last 17 points on the NASDAQ.
I'm still cheering.
Yeah.
Still in full support of the momentum. And probably you're going to, you know what, you already have a bigger trade than me. I got in later and I scalped and I hit my target. And yeah, Fatima got her money too. Had a girl.
Team, I would recommend not being so rigid against one asset class. Oftentimes you see much better trades on one or the other. I like to trade both the NQ and the ES. I know Becky will trade both the NQ and the ES as well. Sometimes you just see a much cleaner environment on one versus the other. I'm usually an ES guy, by the way. Usually, like I'd say 80% of the time, I'm an ES guy. I just didn't like the ES today.
Yeah,
rightly so.
I mean, it was hard because the NQ this morning was still pushing and ES had hit a very important resistance level and I was out of my longs and I was like, oh, feeling some kind of way. But then the bears were there and it took a minute for NQ to get in line too. But then we had some nice shorts off of that resistance. So plays in both directions for me today.
Oh yeah, NQ can move. I'm not saying don't love your asset class. It's your asset class. You can absolutely love it. I love trading my asset classes. I'm just saying don't be too rigid against one asset class that you shut down the opportunity on other asset classes.
Yeah, find the opportunity that speaks to you. Like I recognize the NQ was stronger today because I was in the market when it was pushing stronger both times, morning and afternoon. But for me, it was farther along in trade, and Justin got an earlier entry for me. So coming at the market after my psychology class, I had to consider them both and was like, I got time for one scalp. I like the being lower just for the risk of the entry for ES. And so that's why it ended up making me pick. But NQ is strong. She pulled ES up, honestly, too. NQ pulled ES up a little bit.
It might have even kind of outperformed a little bit on the one or two of those candles there as well.
Yeah. Ooh, she's going for.
Oh, that's great, Tam. Like that. That's kind of where my head's at. Like just one or two. You know what I mean? You don't have to trade them all.
Yeah. And then
just
just
have
find
a different asset you can go to if you're one you do love trading is a filthy, dirty volatility situation. You know what I mean?
yeah. Ooh, I'm
What
excited.
say?
Fatima called
Who
that level.
swears? Do we swear? We
No.
don't swear. I
I
got a
think
little
things
bit.
are cool because
Becky
we're not
swears.
like
She swears all the time. I kid. Mark my Becky doesn't swear.
most of the time I'm very well behaved on here. So shush hush.
Yeah.
I was an ER nurse for
Are you
many
even
years.
supposed
Side
to
note,
swear
for
on
those of you that
YouTube? I
don't
don't
know
think you're
me, and
supposed to swear on YouTube, are you?
the ER is the wild, wild west of the world. I don't know if anyone knows that about hospitals, but there's the part of my personality where I am a little bit of a sailor and an ER nurse, and sometimes that comes out. But live streaming, professional most of the time.
I heard you say a couple comments one time.
It might have happened.
No, I know Market Man. I know. We like to joke around a little bit, but we like to keep it clean.
Yeah.
First and foremost, it's a respect thing, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, like who knows if there's any kids listening to why we're doing this. We don't want to be those people.
Yeah.
And then when the screen goes off, every now and then. I'm a little surprised by the strength of the ES here. It's gotten higher than I thought it would on this move.
Dude, she's printing.
Yeah.
I mentioned it earlier in the stream with Justin, but one of my very favorite things in life related to trading is peace with my piece. I don't know if I've said this on here, but it's like peace with the two types of peace, you know?
Yeah, like
You get
peace
peace with my piece of the pie. And
piece
today
of
I
pie.
got a nice
Yeah.
piece. I was a high likely target. I feel good with it. Locked it in.
I like that saying. I am at peace with my piece of the pie.
Yeah.
I got my 100 points. I'm at peace today. Well, actually, I'm not at 100 points.
It's coming. It's happening.
But we're gonna get there.
That's
we're
right.
gonna stubbornly get there.
Thanks you guys for feedback. And if you want anything different from us or you do like the vibe, like, subscribe, share with your friends. This is totally free. That BluSky brought us coaches on, brought us together. Mike streams in the morning. He's away for business this week. And so he can't do the morning streams this week, but he will be back before you know it. But it's really such a cool opportunity that we get to stream with you guys, and totally a free resource from BluSky, because actually the energy here is that there's enough money for all of us to succeed. So it's pretty cool being here with Matt and everyone. It's a good team.
Yeah, I love hanging out. What's better hanging out with traders talking about trading and levels and random stuff?
That's what's up.
Great conversations.
Plus, cheers to Fatima. She's my girl, one of my very long-time trading friends, and she just called that 38 level like a boss on ES.
I was gonna say, I actually disagreed with her, and she drilled it. Well done. I'll take the L on
these
that
markets
one.
for a lot of years. Well, Market Man, how about a sale for you? Because key code word Blaze right now will get you 30% off our accounts, and BluSky is cool. They daily payouts. If you need some funding, we're great coaches.
Oh, there's always promo
Matt,
code.
but
Where's
also
Justin? Justin, drop some. Do we have promo codes, Justin?
The promo
Drop
code
some
right
promo
now
codes, Justin. Let's go.
is Blaze, and
Let's get the people some promo codes. It's Blaze.
It's Blaze. It's a promo code for the end of this month.
As in tick Blaze.
Is it 30% off?
I think it's 30% off.
Correct me, Nick, but I think it's 30% off too.
Correct us if I'm wrong, Nick.
Yeah. 30%. Yep. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
30%.
Yeah. Code Blaze throughout the week this week. So get your accounts. And, part of another reason why I will stream for BluSky is because they actually have strong morals and integrity, because not all companies out there do. And I have been burned as a trader in that world. And so that matters to me and who I hang out with. And BluSky is good for a lot of reasons, just saying.
Well, every company takes on the persona of the leaders of the company. And Mike is one of the best. Mike's a amazing trader, one of the best traders I've ever met. He's just a really good person too. Just straight up great guy.
Yeah. That integrity is something that is palpable and it crosses over like my psychology conversation today. How you do one thing is how you do everything. When you are a person with integrity, it crosses over. Your trading is better. You hold the faith, you do the right things, and you have a great company. So it's good vibes. I know, Jonathan, I sold too early too, apparently.
Yeah. You say that and then wait 10 minutes and will let me get stopped out underneath the 90 EMA there, Jonathan. The only way I've ever figured out how to hold long term in terms of holding the trends is to make sure your position size is to the point where you are not emotionally making decisions, number one. And number two, have a really good management plan. Meaning where's your scale out target and how do you adjust stop loss? Because a lot of times when people are making like targeting decisions to get out, I have oftentimes find myself just trailing a stop loss in that environment. And so, like, if I want to try to catch a trend, I'm absolutely going to be managing the stop loss probably more than I'm managing the target. If I'm just trying to capture level to level type analysis, I'm absolutely managing the target. And so it's just one of the, once again, having a proper position size, scaling out at T1, and then adjusting stop loss against a longer term time frame, such as the 15-minute 9 EMA, for example, that certainly does help.
Yeah. Well, and I love that because when you scale out and you have a risk-free trade for the rest of it, like I need to get better at this too of letting it run. Like I do have a strategy with my target and I support that, but I could have not took everything off there. I could have left at least 1 or 2 micros to continue flying. But think about it, play with it, adjust it, and maybe do just have a strategy where you have at least 1 micro to like start pushing yourself on, because that's something that I'm working on getting better at too.
And get that P&L column off your eyesight. That will make you make more mistakes in trading than any other thing.
Real talk. Yep.
Like, it's okay to look at it. Just don't have it staring at you every second of the trade. We're getting my 100 tag.
Hey, let's go.
I'm telling you, I'm stubborn. I'm not going to do
99.
it. Oh, yeah, I got it.
Woo!
Told you guys.
Power hour handled.
Power hour. Well done.
Cheers.
Oh yeah, I'm not just gonna get out. I'm gonna let this play out here because I do think we could get more. Yes, I think we could get to the highs. I'm not gonna get out just because it hit, but I do like it that it hit.
See, this is where Fatima and I have learned from similar places, because we're both like the highs, right? Like the liquidity is at the high. Like, let's see that tag. That's part of that's definitely part of targeting when we're approaching a high like that. If it's got the momentum and there's going to be some stops and liquidity there, like oftentimes ES and NQ will take that out. Ooh, yeah, good point. Steve's number.
What's that? Steve's got the 111 number coming up.
He's the triple digits, man. That's good energy with the triple digits.
I like that, actually.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it wants to test, I think, too. Vodka. Like, it's got pretty consistent momentum here.
Because YOLOing.
I haven't seen a bear yet in the last 30 minutes.
Power hour.
Like, haven't seen a bear yet. So
let's go. Vodka YOLOing, man. I'm gonna wish you the best. Last Thursday, man, I messed around. I chased my short because I was irritated. This time, I'm going to leave it one and done during power hour. I was on only red day last week is when I monkeyed with that stupid trade and that sideways business.
Are we going to get some pump here?
Yeah,
are we going to get, is this it? This is very interesting to me.
ES is at another key level right here. So I could see some resistance that we're at here kicking in. But, I mean, it hasn't slowed it down for the last hour. So let's go. I like the idea of the NQ taking out the high. At least wicking it out by a point or two. I like that setup. Pump the jam. Okay. I'm not trying to sing on here. I'm not going to.
By the way, I have adjusted my stop loss here. I'm not going to do anything to I'm not gonna let it do
give
too
all
much
that
here.
back.
I'm not gonna hold through a pullback, for
It
example.
is extended. It's pulled away from the moving averages. Like, I know you about that 9 EMA. We're away from it.
I don't you know exactly where my head's at.
Yeah.
Exactly. You go
Yeah.
too far from the 9 EMA, you don't like to do
I
that.
didn't wanna say it, but I see
Look
it.
at that. You see
Yeah.
that? You see that distance? You see that
It's
distance?
a
Doesn't
ways.
like do it. Likes to kiss
Mhm.
it. Likes to say hi. Likes to give it this kiss on the cheek.
Mhm. She's coming for that kiss, maybe.
Mhm.
Careful.
Well, you see how it like this structure here, this little 4-bar candle structure here.
Mhm.
Look at that. A high base, 9 EMA
Mhm.
catches up, next candle's a breakout. Like
Yeah.
that's 2 plus 2 for a 9 EMA guy.
That's beautiful.
And it's good structure.
Yeah. I like that. It was good for me too on ES when it curved around, it based out, the EMA got right up underneath it, hugged the bottom, and then she pushed up. It was beautiful. Like, I managed my risk on that doji, where was that? At 12:25 our time. The MIs got underneath
This
it.
one
Nice
here.
M5. Yeah, that's good. It's good trade management there. Yeah, this level, 75.40 was a level this morning. It was a factor in play. We kind of danced around it. It's an important level on ES. So we'll see. We'll see if it can push higher than that for ES.
Tam, for me to short the NASDAQ based on my style, I could see myself shorting underneath 30K. Like that level there.
But we out of time for that.
But that's not a today conversation, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I can see what you're talking about with the 40 level though.
Yeah, on the weekly chart is a pivot. It's the tip of a wick. So I'm gonna keep that level, kind of watch it here. So
I would also short an M formation at the top if it doesn't. But yeah, I'm not looking to short here. Like
mhm,
principle.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, and the day's about done. So it don't make a bunch of sense to not to break trend now. Wouldn't make sense. There's not enough time for it.
No.
But we could see, some profit taking at the top here at any time. So
Well, and that's really the only thing this is about is the and how this kind of maneuvers into the close.
yeah.
Yeah, vodka. It's not that ain't gonna do it. My point was I'm not looking for it. Like this is a good trend. Let's kind of let this play out.
You are you really don't got some contracts in this, Fatima? Tam? 'Cause she was on point with this price action. You got yours earlier, huh? I see the band. I see it pushing up here at the end, arching. So I'm on the 2 standard deviation band on the VWAP bands. That's sometimes a soft dynamic resistance that you can gauge when we're in a balanced market, but we're pushing against the extremes. That's something with
On
the
the are you guys talking the bands of
yeah.
VWAP? Yeah.
Yeah, the +2 standard deviation is reacted, it's a reason it's science for a reason. Like it's science pulled into the charts and it's respected in many ways on a lot, especially ES today respected it more so than NQ because NQ really pushed against that 2 band this morning when it was grinding higher. But ES rejected on it. And so it is something that is, bounced off of. So that's something that we watch as a soft dynamic target when you're pushing at it, or as a resistance if you go against it and it starts to fail there.
Yeah, I don't use the bands very much. In fact, as you can see, I took the bands off. I just
Yeah.
got VWAP down here. I
I
don't
only
like
have it on
bands.
one chart, but
They don't
I'll watch 'em.
they don't help me read a chart at all, ever. I don't like them.
Well, it probably helps you hold a trend to not have them on. So there's 2
I don't
different
like them.
reports there.
It makes me overthink the extensions.
Yeah. It makes me overthink the extension. So, I mean, I hear you on that.
By the way, it's the same reason why I don't like Bollinger Bands. The exact same
Ooh.
reason.
Ooh. I tried Bollinger Bands a couple years ago, and I could not find a jam with them. I couldn't enjoy them. I don't know.
At the end of the day, I'm a price guy. Like, I
Yeah.
make almost every decision I make is based on price, patterns, trends, everything
Yeah.
to do with price, even
Well,
on secondary indicators, like I use VWAP and I use the 9 EMA. Outside of that, I'm the simplest guy ever. I just make decisions based on technical
Simple's good.
conclusions.
Yeah. Analysis paralysis can be too much. There's a place for everything.
You do not need the heavens and the earths and the stars to align for you to make a trade.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my trade today was very largely price action, supply and demand. We were in lower support. We made a double bottom. We were holding the ES, the NQ was pulling her up. There was no aggression to the downside. It's pretty simple. My trade today was pretty darn simple. It was a pullback.
Like Breezy, I'll make you happy. I swear to the altar of, Charles Dow and Gann and Elliott and Wyckoff and the original technicians that built the modern version of technical analysis and the logic and the behavioral analysis that goes along with that. All I'll say is every indicator that you could ever pull up uses price action. So if you perfect price action, you don't need the training wheels of indicators, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Takes time to learn it, but is that
don't get me wrong? Like when I was a young trader, I really, really liked all those indicators to help me confirm my read. And I still use indicators. I'm not trying to say I don't. I just rely mostly on price.
Good call.
Thank you. We're coming up to a conclusion. This has been a fantastic conversation during Power Hour. Team, you're the absolute best. Thank you so much for making Power Hour awesome. These, like when you're doing a stream in YouTube like this, live content, I can't tell you how much as a content guy who likes to talk about trading, how awesome it is when you guys are engaging with the conversation. And so I just wanted to say a big shout out to the BluSky team for being awesome, engaging in the conversation here today, the back and forth, debating some technical parameters, caught a really good trade on the NQ. Becky caught a really good trade on the ES. Everybody's printing money here today. Feels really, really, really good. Coming to a conclusion of the saga here. Becky, you got some final thoughts for the team?
I mean, when Becky's a bull, like you can't argue with that. So let's not fight the trend. Today was really enjoyable. I agree. I echo what Matt said so much of that, having a strong community where everyone is supportive and everyone wants to win together and kick ideas, ask questions, be courteous to the other members. Like they're really, if I were to design a perfect community, I don't even know what you could add. So I'm so grateful to be here and stream with everyone, and it's good vibes, and we'll see how this day ends, but I hope you're protected because there might be some profit taking, ladies.
Well, that's the thing about BluSky is, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to cheer you on one way or the other. Whether you like it or not, we're going to cheer you on. There is no doubt about that. As coaches, I can speak for a lot of us coaches. We love it when you guys are successful. Period. End of session. End of story there. We do have Coach Breezy later on tonight for the Asian session. If you want to take a look at the Asian session with Coach Breezy later on tonight. Outside of that, that's going to be it for us for the Power Hour. We'll be here same time, same channel tomorrow. Come join us. Outside of that, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, team.
Yeah, 8 p.m., right? 8 p.m. Eastern, Breezy, for those of us that don't trade Asia. Thanks, friend. Guess I need to get some Bollinger Bands back in my life. Yeah.
You can convince me on the VWAP bands before the Bollinger Bands.
Yeah, VWAP is one of my babes. Yeah. I can't unsee her. Yeah, that was a great session. Today was a great day. And Breezy and I are going to stream open tomorrow. So that's going to be a fun, fresh variety. So come hang out with us. It's going to be another solid morning. Cheers to some great trades, everyone.
Nick, we're going to keep talking until you shut down the stream, brother.
I think we got